a privilege.
Wait, should we
Welcome
start
to
the show?
Vintage Gay with Darryl Stephens, my old friend. Um, Thank you for coming.
My
And
pleasure, girl. How are you?
I am good. I'm good. A friend pushed me to do something using my personality, and this is what we came up with. Some old queen just talking to her friends. So I looked up vintage in the dictionary and it said of age and value.
There
So
you
here
go,
we
honey. That's
are.
us.
Here we
That's
are.
us.
A classic. It said, you popped on my screen, and I don't know why. All of the sudden, every emotion in my body, I started crying, like tearing up. And you said, hit record, bitch. And I
Don't
was
waste the
like,
tears, girl.
oh.
Put it in the show. Yeah.
It was, it is one of those things at the beginning of my sobriety, at the beginning of my moving here, I had buried the best friend, buried the dog, quit smoking. All my companions were gone. And I met you, and I would go to a meeting in the morning, and then I would go meet you and sit in front of Starbucks and just be a person who I didn't know how to do that without all the other things,
Mm.
without creativity or being a workaholic or an alcoholic or a drug addict. Like I didn't know how to sit with someone. And you taught me how to sit with someone. And so the other day I was walking by the Starbucks and I was like, oh, Daryl and I used to sit there and watch the parade and of gay people. And I love gay people. And so it was just the best thing at the beginning. And then all of a sudden I came and you were on TikTok and I was like, oh, I could call Daryl. He'll be the first guest that could promote something.
Yeah, why not?
That's
Shit, yeah.
it. And I was like, and then I saw you and just every emotion just poured out. It was pure, it was honest, and there is a love for you that I have that is just, yeah,
We
you.
said we spent a lot of hours sitting in front of that Starbucks, honey.
Yes, we
That was
did.
a real that
Yeah,
was an era for sure.
and it was, yeah, I sat still and someone
Yeah.
sat with me. It was really good. And then we went to Philly together and like I walked around with you like the first time I had done something and I will say, I'm gonna give you your flowers and then we'll talk about other things. But I saw the on TikTok about Noah, and then I remember walking with you in Philly and seeing someone in not even the gay district, but some queen look at you, and it was like they saw an old friend. And it
Right.
was like I was like, oh, and you were so gracious and
Oh,
you understood it. And that's a big deal. Not a lot of people. I've seen you on set. You are the most gracious person that I've ever seen. Like shit could happen and you just sit there, you just wait. You're like the most patient and
thank you, honey. I understand the work that goes into putting a show together and making a film. And
yeah.
Doug Spearman was our director, our fearless leader on that project, and he and I had obviously worked together on Noah's Ark before. So it was a journey, as you know, because that film took 5 years to make. And
It did.
not
It took a
not for it to
lot.
come out after we shot it. It took 5 years to film.
Yeah.
So
And then
so
it took
much
a little
was,
while to come out after
and then it took another
5 years.
year and a half or 2 years to come out after we shot it. So it was a lot of work, and it was a lot of we all had a lot of feelings about how that went down, but ultimately, as artists, we kind of have to sit with each other and just get through it and understand that we're doing the best we can. That's like life, right? That's us sitting at Starbucks. We were doing the best we could in that moment. So
Yeah. And
yeah,
you and I think I was the only crew member that went the 5 years that wasn't an actor.
you were. You absolutely were. Even the DP was switched out. Yeah. It was just a very long process. And obviously when you're financing something independently and some of that financing falls through, what are you gonna do? And you were ride or die like the actors were, because I feel like you were very connected to the project as well, because
I said yes. And so
you
I was
said
to
yes. Yeah.
stay through it. Yeah, I
Yeah.
couldn't. I said yes.
And you did, and you showed up. And
And I
I
had to.
mean, and stuff got lost, and you figured out how to make it work, and it was like
I showed up with a rolling rack, a steamer, and
you made it work. You made it
yeah.
happen.
ta talking about that patientness, when I was growing up, I remember going through puberty and I was 13 years old and it said, Wrath of God on gay people, AIDS. And
Mm.
I was just baptized Mormon right before. So I already had the fear of God in me. And so I was like, ooh, all the fantasy, all the stuff I pushed away. I never thought in my wildest dreams that you could have the white picket fence, get married, and have a child. And you checked all those boxes. You are that example where you get to be exhibit A to the young queens. You know what I
You know
mean?
what's funny about that? I never thought of myself as that person either. It's fun. It's funny that this is sort of what my life has become because,
Yeah,
even when I was in the streets fighting for marriage equality, screaming about, we deserve the right,
yeah.
I didn't necessarily see it for myself. I thought it was obviously something I should be entitled to do because I pay the same fucking taxes as my straight brother,
Yes.
and probably more.
Yeah.
But it
You
just
do pay a higher tax like a girl. You do. You
yeah,
do.
I
Let's
do.
just be
We do.
clear.
Let's be real. But when it all sort of came together, and we had the child before we got married. Like the marriage was like, oh, we have this kid. We should probably
Oh,
make this official, right? Like the kid was our first big decision together.
oh wow. How did that come about? Like, would you?
That again, that was him. Yeah, I didn't really have the concept of what it would, and I'll just say it. I didn't have the concept of what it looked like to be a dad with my lifestyle, not my gay lifestyle, but my actor lifestyle. Like
Right.
as an artist, you're not necessarily ever financially secure, and it felt like taking on the responsibility of another human just felt like completely out of my realm of possibilities. So when my then, I would say boyfriend, we were saying partner or boyfriend at that point, but like when my man was like, I want to have a kid, I was like, really? Because that's interesting. I hadn't really thought about that. Let me think about it. And I went away for a few days and I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that. Because I was also, I was already at that point in my, let's see, mid 40s probably when we made that decision. So
Really?
because she's about to be 5 and it was obviously like a couple years before that. So yeah, like yeah, mid 40. I'm 51 now.
You're
So
51?
yes, honey, daddy is
You
old.
good, honey.
Thanks, girl. The light, sit in the light.
I just turned 59. Look at us. We're alive and
Congratulations,
gay as
honey.
shit.
Vintage as a motherfucker. Um, and
Did you
I
say
went away and thought
vintage
about
is a
it.
motherfucker?
And it was that moment of like, well, I could be an actor, I could struggle through life forever, or I could reshift my focus. And I thought it was a good time to reshift my focus. I was around, like I said, mid 40s, and I was thinking, this is something I never imagined for myself, but what an amazing thing to accomplish if we actually pull it off. Like we could bring another human into the world. And my husband, my now husband is an amazing man. He has got this beautiful family. And I thought what a gift it would be for us to experience this together. I just felt like this was the perfect time, the perfect man to do it with. And so here we are. She's about to be 5. Yeah.
In a house that you own with a 5-year-old child. And like when I talked to Jody, I'm gonna ask you the same thing I asked her. Because we got sober together and we neither one of us were doing any like being creative at one point. And all of a sudden, Full House turned into Fuller House, and she went into a character that she hadn't
Mm,
played since she was 13,
right.
in her 30s. Now you're playing a character again that you're revisiting, Noah, that you played in your 20s.
Yeah. Oh, actually, technically, I would have been, yeah, late 20s, early 30s. Yes. Yes. That's
Okay.
correct. Yes.
How old were you when you got hired? Like 29?
28, maybe 27, 28, 27.
Ooh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
And now here you are. So it's like you're you now you're like a husband, a father, a homeowner. I'm just a homo. And and now you're revisiting this thing and God's given you this gift of some financial security or whatever. How
Yeah, I did that sitcom for a couple of years. A lot of people don't know this, but I was on a sitcom on CBS for a couple of years, and that really sort of changed. the trajectory of my financial life.
Two
I don't know
broke
if you
girls?
know, not Two Broke Girls. It was a show called Be Positive,
Okay.
that had a life for 2 years and then disappeared. It was actually right after actually, my child was born in 2020.
Okay.
We brought her home from the hospital on a Friday. And on that Friday, I got an email from my agent saying they want to see you for this CBS sitcom. And I had not slept. We'd been like up, as you know, maybe you don't know, with a newborn, you're sort of sleeping with the child. So that when she wakes up, you got to wake up, feed, so it's every like 2 or 3 hours, you're falling asleep, waking up. And there was like no real sleep schedule at that point.
Sounds like
And then
living with a drug addict.
it's like living with drug addicts. Exactly. Um, and so in the middle of the night, I called my bestie, Stephen Bowman.
Yes. Who I love.
Um, yes, Stephen is great. And I was like, listen, they want me to put myself on tape. I know I'm not going to book it because there's just no effing way. But can you just read this with me? And he kind of guided me through the audition because I was really in a haze of like, I can do this, but I'm so exhausted. We're physically shooting it at like 11 p.m. at night because there's the only time I had to get on the computer quietly. And I submitted maybe that Monday or whatever. And by Wednesday, they were like, you're the choice. They want to see you, see you in wardrobe, or like wardrobe's going to call you or something. And I was like, what? I'm sorry, what? What am I the choice for? I don't even
And this
remember what
is
I auditioned
CBS.
for. Honey, this was a Chuck Lorre show on CBS. It was a
Woo!
big, but this was during the pandemic and everything was on tape, right? We were not going into offices. We were shooting things on. This was when we were first started shooting things. They call them self tapes. But
Yeah.
normally when you're on a show that's actually going to be broadcast, you meet with the other cast members, you do chemistry reads, you do other things. None of that happened. They were like, in 2 weeks, show up to the Warner Brothers lot and blah blah blah. And I was like, so literally first 2 weeks I was there, I kept waiting for somebody to go, psych, you're not really on this show. This isn't a real show. This is Ashton Kutcher is back here somewhere. They're revamping punks or rebooting punks. Punked. No, it kept going for 2 years, which was incredible. It was a great learning experience for me just to be on a set like that and to see these, Annalie Ashford and Thomas was on it.
Tom.
He was on Silicon Valley. I just can't think of his last name. Anyway, some greats. In the second season we had some vintage stars like Ben Vereen. We had Linda Lavin. She was on both seasons actually, but Linda was incredible to work with.
I love her.
She was such a gem and just a master class in table reads. Like the three of them, Thomas, Annalie, and Linda, would show up for the table reads, and you'd be like, how have they figured all this out already? Like I'm figuring out the line. They hand you the script, there you go. I'm like, I'm gonna make this funny. I'm gonna make it funny. It's gonna be funny. But they had it. They were so good. They were so good. So that was my experience with working on that show. But then I was gonna say that sort of gave me a little bit of a sense of what a professional show looks like and how
Yeah.
that stuff works. So when the opportunity presented itself to return to Noah's Ark, right after Be Positive, I want to say it was like Be Positive got canceled. And then a month later, they were like, oh, so Noah's Ark is coming back. And I was like, oh, bitch. Ah. So I was very much in my like, let's get this done. Like,
Yeah.
let's be for real about this and let's commit. Like when we got to Atlanta to shoot, they were putting me in all these Noah outfits, and I was like, I am at daddy weight right now. Like I'm not fitting into any of this. So like I ate just watermelon for a full week while I was there to fit into the costumes. Like it was a lot of work, and we got through it. I fit in the clothes.
Yeah, honey, and it looks so good. I watched the trailer,
Yeah,
because I was like earlier this morning, I said, I'm going to get up, I'm going to watch the trailer. I want to see it. Because it was, I think you described it to me a long time ago as like Sex in the City with four gay men. Like in
yes,
a
it was
sense.
very much for black gay men version of Sex and the City, or the male version of Girlfriends, if you want to keep it black.
Yes.
Right,
Yes.
right.
And so the fashion was a big, I mean, I remember when we were because because I had seen it, but I remember Afro puffs and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
more hair. Like there was hair in the
Daryl had hair back then, so a lot they were using it. They were doing everything they could to
yes,
take
and
advantage of the hair.
corsets. Yeah, corsets.
Corsets, honey. That child was anyway. What I felt like about this film was it not only was the fashion elevated, but like the cinematography, everything felt like, oh, bitch, y'all got a budget now, and we felt that walking on the set. Like the sets were beautiful, and we were going, oh my God, look at these sets, look at these clothes. The whole time we were there, we're like,
It does.
really?
It looks.
For
I watched the
us,
trailer and I was like, this is deluxe.
it's
Like
deluxe.
everything looks deluxe. The lighting, y'all look like
The
everything.
makeup artist, are you kidding? Did you see what my face looked like on that movie?
Yes!
I'm like, every time I
All
look, I'm like,
departments showed up. I saw
everybody
the
showed up.
set, the light, the hair,
Step they
the
pussy
makeup.
up, honey. It was
But you
a
guys showed up with body too. I saw some bodies.
China Jensen Atwood, who plays Wade, showed up with the exact same 30-year-old body we had when we were shooting in the first, the series the first time. And I was like,
Yeah,
how are
yeah,
you doing that,
yeah,
sir?
yeah.
What are you doing to keep in that shape? Because I was, I eventually kind of snatched it together, but I got there like sitcom daddy weight. Like I was like thick. Daddy was thick when he showed up. Um,
But it's it's true. It's like I think good things happen to good people, and that's why everything kept rolling your way. Like you know
That's
what I
that's
mean?
very generous of you. I'm as we're looking at what's happening in politics, I'm hoping that bad things begin to happen to bad people because I'm sick of these motherfuckers. I need them to go somewhere.
I
This is
think they're gonna burn
crazy.
down their own village.
Do it faster because I cannot with this anymore. With you snatching people off the street, it's
So I wrote down a
oh,
couple questions to ask you, and I was like, "What's the best thing of being married?" And then I was like, "What's the worst thing of being married?" And I was like, "You could lose it." Like, you know what I mean? Like, don't ask that question because those bitches could take it away.
honey, they're pounced. They're perched, ready to pounce on all of us. It's
Yeah.
all of us. You think you're safe. None of us are safe. None of us is safe. It is a new day where everybody is in the crosshairs of these people. So I feel like we just gotta ultimately I think the trick is we're gonna have to figure out how to band together with all these MAGA folks who are finally seeing the light. And it's gonna be a tough pill for a lot of us to swallow, like you know, joining hands with these people who have been voting for our demise for the last, 15, 20 years. But if they are seeing the light, we got to bring them over to this side because we need the numbers and we need solidarity that says that we can't do this anymore.
The beautiful thing, if I could say there is something in all of this, is that I remember when we were young and there was ACT UP and we were fighting for someone to like acknowledge AIDS or acknowledge
Yeah,
or acknowledge whatever. I feel like young people are moving up to the fight or joining the like I feel like there's a gay unity.
for sure. I feel like queer folks as well as young allies
Yes.
are waking up to how intertwined all of our struggles actually are. And I think that there's been, for a long time, this very successful campaign from the right wing to keep us fighting each other.
Yeah.
And I think what's happening is people are going, wait a minute, hold up.
Yeah.
They're doing the same thing to those people in Palestine that they're in Gaza that they're doing to black people in my neighborhood. So why are we not aligned with them? I feel like it's suddenly occurring to all of us. They're doing what to Latinos right now, what they've been doing to black people in America forever, slave catchers, right? Snatching them off the streets.
Yeah. Oh,
What, when is it gonna occur to us to be like, okay, they're the bad guys. We gotta get together. And I feel like it's finally, the American empire appears to be crumbling, but I'm hoping that there are enough of us
yes.
left standing that we get to build something better because we deserve it. We've been here for too long, fighting the good fight for too long to not finally reap the fucking benefits of this, right?
Yes. That's perfect. Like I don't know what to say. The beautiful thing is also is that people, young gay people, can look at you and say, hey, you know, there is something to fight for because we did fight for gay rights. We did fight for um what is it? Like we fought for gay marriage. We fought for adoption rights. We fought for all of these things. And to be married and be on a what is it called when you buy a house together with your husband? Like you're like
You're
no
sharing a mortgage.
your mortgage and everything. Because
Well,
remember,
essentially,
young,
what I think is great about this moment, also, as you're talking, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but this show coming back 20 years later
yeah,
after it first aired, and us getting to see these characters evolved and grown up a bit, and Noah was always the baby of the group, and he was the one always asking for advice and needing his friends to sort of bail him out of whatever hijinks he had fallen into. And what you see in this movie is that he has stepped up. He is now the executive producer of a TV show. He is running things. He's the showrunner of the show, and he is kind of running his life in a very similar way. He is handling things. And what's really kind of amazing about that is it's showing my generation, because we grew up without a middle-aged generation ahead of us, right? When I was growing up, that whole generation of folks was wiped out, right? I didn't get
Margaret
to.
says we have a bigger responsibility because as adults to live in the light, gay adults, because the generation before us is dead.
100%. I think that that's even more impactful for Black gay folks because we, for whatever reason, have not been in the public eye. Like we've seen, there was In the Gloaming. There's all these movies about gay white people forever, right?
Yeah.
Noah's Ark was the first show that highlighted gay Black men in their world, doing their thing, highlighting their
Let's
culture,
just take a
right?
minute.
Let's
Let's
take a
just take
moment.
a minute. Let's just take a minute.
Thank you.
Let's just take a minute.
And to see these folks get older, still being friends, still being married, still got their lives, still got their careers, I think it's a great example. It just shows a whole generation of people what it looks like to get older and to reach middle age and to have this group of friends that you still roll with. I think it's really important for us to see that because we didn't get to see that. We didn't have any real role models on television that said you can grow old as a gay man with a family and either your chosen family or your family, but your folks, and you can get through anything together. I think that that's the lesson of this movie, but also a lesson that is very needed right now
Yes.
in history. We need to see that we can persevere. The kids today don't know what we were dealing with. The kids today have no idea. We didn't get to take a pill. We didn't take prep and then
I was just
go
going to say
jump
that.
into the streets willy-nilly. We were terrified for
Terrified.
decades to
Do
touch
you
somebody
remember your
else.
first AIDS test?
Honey, I was tested every 6 months for like decades.
Yeah.
I was so paranoid and on top of it because, our generation really was the first one that was like, guess what? You stick it in there, you're gonna die. If somebody sticks it in there, you're gonna die. And it was very
God.
real, like, oh,
Yeah.
just dead. Okay, so we're just gonna die. And it's gonna be an ugly death.
Yeah.
And the government that's supposed to be taking care of us is going to ignore us
Yes.
and let us die. And only the lesbian, let's round of
Let's take
applause
a
for the
minute for the
lesbians.
lesbians. Take
Thank
a
you.
minute for the lesbians. They're the ones
Only
that
the
showed up.
only the lesbians showed up.
Yeah.
That's something that this younger generation of queer folks will never get to see. So, I'm not suggesting that we have to re-traumatize anybody, but I do think that there are a lot of lessons in our history, and the more we get to sort of see and celebrate what we have accomplished, the better equipped we will be moving forward. Because I think that there's a lot of lessons in our past that will apply to dealing with the situation that we are in now.
Let's say I have 25 subscribers. Let's say that one is a young queen
Hey,
and
hey,
wants
subscribers.
one queen that wants to get married or maybe adopt or whatever. What would you say the best thing about not adoption, but about having a child, getting married, and I've never had that experience of saying I do to somebody, and
Yeah.
I do. I've never had that experience of building a home with somebody or um, changing diapers and staying up all night. Like, what would you say to the queen that's like, I want that?
I would say it's a beautiful life if you can build it. You know, I think that what I'm very aware of in this journey is that not everyone is cut out to be a parent. Thank God my husband and I are, right? I do think that we have the patience, we have the fortunately we have the, you know, the financial security at this point to raise this child in a way that we feel is, you know, productive and healthy
And the love for one another.
and the love and the love.
Yeah.
This child is surrounded by love 24, like at all times. She's got grandparents very nearby who cannot wait to see her. She's got cousins who cannot wait to see her. She is loved, loved, loved. And you know, what I will say is that the first thing I thought as a young as an early dad, I was never young as a dad. I was already in my late 40s. But um it occurred to me very early on that people who are doing this without a village, without a partner, single moms, single dads, people who are doing this on their own deserve a lot more credit than they're getting because this shit is hard.
Yes.
It is hard. Not, and I got a great kid. My kid's amazing,
Yeah.
right? She's not troubled. She is a happy child. She's healthy. She's amazing, right? And even that is fucking hard. You need somebody. You at some point you're gonna be like, I have to shower today. Like, please take this. I have to. I cannot smell like this another minute, please. And without that support system, it is very, very difficult.
Yeah.
And so, what I would say to someone who is young and considering having a kid is make sure you've got that village in place, and don't take for granted that, you know, a little bit of chutzpah and a little bit of, you know, love is all you need. It takes a lot. It takes time, energy, and it takes, unfortunately, in this world we live in right now, it takes financial stability to raise a kid in a way that does not stress the child out, right? We've seen people raise kids in situations that are stressful, and that stress
Yeah.
goes into the child's, you know, that child ingests that stress, and it comes out in ways that we see as they grow up.
Yes.
Yeah, so I just feel like, yes, do it if you want to do it. Make sure you have the support system. That's what I would say, because I was shocked at the work and the energy and the time and the, you know, you have a kid and your entire
Yeah.
your everything, all of your priorities shift. It's no longer about you and what you look like. It's about her and what she looks like. Like you know, I haven't cut my hair. Like, I look a mess, right? And I'm still like, she looks cute today. She's at summer school right now. She looks adorable. When I go pick her up, she's still gonna look cute. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's up. Look, I'll show you what she looked like when she left.
I love this.
Wait,
Oh.
that
Oh.
was her on her way to school today. We did her hair up because she was dressing. They let her wear
Oh.
pajamas today, so she put her
Look at
hair up like
that.
so this kid is
Look, that's okay. But everyone out there, that is a happy gay
this is
child
a
with gay
happy
parents.
kid.
That is a
Yes,
happy kid with gay parents.
yes. You cannot,
We can we can raise good, happy kids.
we absolutely can. And I think that it really helps if you have family, chosen or blood,
Yeah.
but
I walked
family
into
there
your
to help.
house and I walked upstairs and your mom was there and your husband was there and the kid. And I was just like, wow, like this is like you could feel like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just, it's like, oh, and I was running errands and returning clothes and doing like, I walked in a little frazzled and I just went, ah. But to walk into that house of love and that thing that you and your husband built and that child that you're raising, and it was just like, oh, this is this is why we get rights. You know what I mean? Like I'm just it's like I'm the recovering drug addict. I'm not the one that's like here. This is
But even that, I
yes,
feel like
I do help a lot of people. I
you
do.
cannot sell yourself short because look what you're doing.
Yeah.
I remember you talking to people who were even younger in their sobriety than you were when we
Yeah.
were sitting in front of Starbucks. You were bringing people into the light all the time.
Yeah.
And I saw that. And I think that this, your podcast is another version of that, of you bringing people into the light of sobriety and sanity. And that's no small feat. And don't,
Oh my God, you're see
don't
we're
belittle,
rolling.
don't belittle, I think that there's a lot of, social capital or whatever placed on marriage and a house and a baby.
Yeah,
There should be just as much importance placed on helping people who are in crisis.
yeah. I'm raising young gay addicts. I am.
That's huge.
Yeah, yeah,
That is huge.
yeah, yeah.
So,
My
don't,
some muscle queen showed up at my house last night to make sure that because I said I was going to do the podcast, that I had a ring light, that it was above my thing. Because if you look at the last podcast, my lighting was a little off. I'm looking to the side. I'm not, or I'm looking like I know nothing like that.
yeah,
And
yeah.
so I was told where to sit, turn on that. Like someone that I've been sponsoring for almost 8 years.
8 years, Kenny.
8 years. 8 years. And showed up and put me in the light. And here
Well,
we
that's
are.
what I'm saying. But you have built that, and I think that we should also, clap for the folks who are raising families, but you are also raising families.
I am. I am.
And
I see that. This is where I remember a long time ago, you and I were talking, and I was like, well, if this doesn't work out, maybe I'll work in recovery. And you said something, and I said, so I tried it. And I remember telling you, there's a difference between recovery and treatment, and I don't
mm,
want to be there. And you
mm,
then be creative. You were there. This is
yeah,
where all the
yeah, yeah.
basis from. You were there at the crossroads of me being here and whatever and the beauty of who you are and the calmness and the you know you could see you were a parent before you were a parent. Like you have that.
People have said that to me. People
Yeah.
who have not seen in a while see me now with the kid, and they're like, "Oh my God, you were always this person, weren't you?
Yeah.
You were kind of the mom of our group." I was
Yes.
like,
Yes.
"Yeah, I
Yes.
kind of
Yes.
was."
Yes, yeah, I
Yeah.
wasn't. I was like, but I had love and I wanted to be better and do better. Like I did.
And you are, and you did. You know what I mean? Again, I think that it's important for us to recognize
Yeah.
that heroes come in all shapes and sizes, and parents or role models do as well. And I think
Or
that we
members
should,
of our community, you
yeah,
know?
members of the family that we have built, that we have
Yes,
chosen,
yes,
those people are incredibly important for our culture and our society. We are carrying the torch.
yeah. I love gay people. You know what I mean? Like I am so grateful that when I ran from Orange County, my Mormon father said, you know, put all the freaks and fags on an island, and I found it, Manhattan, and I lived there. And gay people and trans women raised me creatively.
As they do, as we do.
Yeah, in New York. And so it's when I didn't have anyone, I had gay people fighting, showing me the good fight and the beauty of our culture. And I hope that everyone gets to see this. And now it's I like I said before, even in Philly, I could see that your being an out black gay actor is
Yeah,
important.
yeah, yeah,
It's important. And I saw that in Philly with someone that looked at you and was like, Noah. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
or
It's,
and
I mean, I can never really put into words what it's been like to be on this show and to sort of have the legacy of that show follow me around, because I oftentimes don't feel worthy of the legacy, because I'm just the actor who kind of stepped into it and just kind of took the ride, really, but
gossip.
people,
Is there going to be another movie? Is there going to be a third season? Is there a reboot?
well, I don't have any of that information. So I would love to spill the tea for you, you 25 subscribers right now, but I don't actually know anything. There's no news. However, the movie has been doing very well. And I can say, and I don't think I'm not supposed to say this, but when we signed the contract for this first this most recent movie, we signed contracts for two sequels. Um,
So you're like a black superhero, gay super.
that shit,
That's what they don't they have to sign for
that's what it looked
three?
like, don't it? Um,
Don't they have to sign for three too? And the
I think
universe
they
is
do. But what would be even better, I personally think that what the culture really needs is the series back. I think that that would
yes.
be fabulous. I think the movies are great. I think that this last movie was a really great introduction, reintroduction to these characters and where they are in their lives. And you haven't seen it yet, but
I saw the trailer and the clothes are great and the everything is just so pretty to look at
it's
too.
beautifully shot. It's
Yeah.
beautifully shot. I should look up the cinematographer's name because I keep fucking it up. It's he's brilliant. It's Alexander
And a
Chichen.
shout out to your makeup artist too.
Ooh, for sure, for sure. Centera, you're right,
And your husband's
and Brittany
body.
Shanae.
You were
Oh,
holding up
and
a baby, and I was like, I
and
was
he
looking
didn't
at
have a
the,
shirt on for no reason, no good reason. He didn't have a shirt on, but it was like we gonna sell this
you were
movie. God
holding up
damn
a
it!
baby, and I was like, didn't notice the baby till after.
I understand. I'm not even mad at you,
Uh,
Alexander Chinichi, Chinichi. Alexander Chinichi is the cinematographer's name, and he's brilliant. Brittany Shanae was my face painter, my mug goddess. She was under the tutelage or the guidance of Centeria Wright, the other makeup, that had the key makeup on the
head of
show.
department.
Yeah, so it was a just a village of love. Everybody on that set was just like, could you? And the girls all knew the show. The girls in the makeup room all knew the show. So it was like, they were excited to see us. We were excited to see them. It was a love fest. So, and you see that in this movie. But what I think the culture needs right now is the series back. 'Cause I feel like we get to get into every character's stories a little bit more in depth. And we get to really see what it's like for these two to start raising kids because that's what the movie's about. They're about to have twins, or so they think. Um,
Thank you for this.
my pleasure, Kenny. It's so
I
good to talk to
really
you.
appreciate you showing up and just yes, yes. Thank you.
It's great to see you, girl.
I love you.
I love you too.